And in some other news here, we do want to turn to another event that unfolded earlier this week. The inaugural U.S.-Saudi Biotech Alliance Summit took place on Wednesday in San Francisco. It brought together leaders to accelerate the development, manufacturing, and delivery of next-gen immunotherapies and healthcare technologies. Joining me is one of the event's co-chairs, Dr. Patrick Shiong. He's founder and executive chairman at ImmunityBio and Networks and owner of the LA Times Media Group. Doctor, welcome.
Thank you for having us, Kristen.
Great to see you this morning. You're joining us from Los Angeles. What were your takeaways from this inaugural U.S.-Saudi Biotech Alliance Summit?
Well, it really emphasized the fact that the Saudi nation, and I've spent now some time there with the leadership, recognizes the value of the immune system and really moved very fast by reviewing all our data to say they need this for their nation and really to protect the nation, not just from cancer, but also from infectious diseases. So they approved us. It's the world's first approval for lung cancer, in which a combination of checkpoint inhibitors and our Anktiva, which activates NK cells, is now combined as a therapy.
Interesting.
And I think, Kristen, the importance of this is that checkpoint inhibitors, as you know, Merck and Bristol Myers, etc., is really one of maybe the largest product in their portfolio, an important product. Not only is the patent sadly going off, but what we discovered is that the treatment, when they receive that, is very temporary. But when you combine it with Anktiva, we almost triple the survival rate. So I think that really was the important message that came across during this summit.
How does this set up 2026? We're just a little over 2 weeks into this new year, Doctor, both for your company, ImmunityBio, and for this U.S.-Saudi alliance.
Well, I think it sets up not just for with Saudi Arabia, it sets up for the Middle East, it sets up for Europe. You know, we now receive approval for our bladder cancer in the UK. We're pending approval in Europe. And today I announced the most important announcement that in first-line BCG-naive bladder cancer patients, we've exceeded our expectations with regard to enrollment. We had revealed, and I don't think people had even recognized the fact that the FDA had asked us years ago to unblock or unblind a portion of the study that we had revealed. And we were already statistically significantly better when we gave BCG plus our Anktiva in BCG-naive bladder cancer. I think the power of the conference was also for us to reveal the power of the natural killer cell when you infuse the natural killer cell. So at this summit, and you know, I've been doing a series with the New York Stock Exchange to give them a day-to-day blow, and this is a little bit of the history of the catch-up of that. We presented on the last day the power of the natural killer cell that we could infuse into the body and target the natural killer cell to any element of cancer. So today we released and we presented some of that information in patients with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, in which we were able to achieve complete remission in patients with a rare disease called Waldenstrom non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. And the duration of that remission is 7 months to 15 months, depending on these two patients, after only 8 doses of the therapy. We were really surprised by this result because the trial was designed merely to give a single 8 doses of our targeted NK cell called CAR-NK cell. So the rest of the summit was for us to reveal for the first time to the world that over the last few years we have used our strength in machine vision and AI to literally train a manufacturing robot to manufacture the cells without human intervention. And at the CES, we actually had a humanoid with cognitive capabilities that can work with that robot, so a robot working with a robot, to manufacture natural killer cells and T cells, with the goal that we would reduce the cost of manufacturing of cell therapy by 10-fold.
Wow.
It is not appropriate for just a wealthy person to be able to receive a CAR T-cell therapy that could cost anywhere between $500,000 to $1 million. And we want to democratize this and make this cell therapy, especially the CAR NK cell therapy, available to the world.
We have just about a minute left, Doctor. What is next for ImmunityBio?
Well, I think next is we on the march, right? The Anktiva. We hope that we can work with the FDA. This was developed in America. It's now available, sadly, for patients outside of America broadly with regard to lung cancer. And we're meeting with the FDA to speak to both the bladder cancer protocols and the BCG that we're bringing to the country, as well as our CAR-NK technology.
And they gave us a little bit more time, Doctor. So I'm glad I can ask you one more question, which is introduce our viewers to your background. You have an MD yourself. What was your journey to get to this place?
Well, my journey was, I was really fortunate. I ran the California Nanosystem Institute. I took over the National Lambda Rail, which is the fiber infrastructure that connected the Large Hadron Collider. So I was also a NASA scientist. So the idea of taking really technology, especially electronic and optic technology, and putting that into work with regard to medical biology has given me a so great really opportunity to span really breakthrough technologies on all fronts for the betterment of treating patients. So I think what's exciting to me at CES, it's a decade since I've been to CES, was a demonstration of our cognitive humanoid, which is going to be used to help patients in the hospital. It's going to be used to help GMP manufacturing of biological material, and it'll change the cost of biological manufacture and as part of the pharmaceutical industry. So my journey has been really an exciting one, and really proud of the fact that we got Abraxane approved and the first protein nanoparticle for chemo, and now the first cytokine, Anktiva. I pursued this because the NCI in 2012 identified IL-15 as the most important molecule, the number one molecule that had a chance to cure cancer. And they've tried to develop it for the last 10 years, and we succeeded in launching Anktiva as that molecule, this IL-15 superagonist. So I think we're on this path now in which really can change the paradigm of cancer care.
Wow.
And I'm really grateful to be able to present this to the audience such as yours.
Oh, Dr. Patrick Soon Shiong, founder and executive chairman at ImmunityBio and NantWorks. Thank you so much for joining. Congratulations, and we hope to speak to you again soon.
Thank you for having me.